Hey, okay. Hey.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Scotty Show. Tonight we're going to be talking about Goner making his post. This is his story, pretty much. Uh, why I left Haunted Mound. So recently, Turnabout and Goner. I said Haunter. Goner left Haunted Mound to start their duo solo career. If that makes sense. Duo solo. Does that make sense? Duo solo. Is that like a? You can even say that? Let me know in the comment section. That sounds crazy. They parted ways with Haunted Mound to do their thing, and we didn't really get no clarification on why they actually left. And a lot of people have been clowning on Goner and Turnabout, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have left. Oh, you guys are clout chasers," and a lot of other different things, and just talking overall crazy to Goner and Turnabout. Just crazy disrespect levels, because from what we got, from Turnabout and Goner, the music and everything that they provided us through Haunted Mound, and just to see the levels of how they evolved, especially Turnabout. Turnabout has made, like I said, I even talked to Turnabout, messaged him in the DMs. I told him, like, yo, man, like, keep your head up, bro. I'm gonna always rock with y'all, just like I'm gonna rock with, even though Cemetery, he got that, the ego shit about him that people say, yo, bro, like, you gotta have a craziness about you to get how far that Cemetery has gotten, to sell out these shows, to sell these shirts. Nigga is selling $100 polos right now. I ain't never seen another artist sell $100 polos, bro. That's crazy. Motherfucker is selling $100 polos off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen that before. From an underground artist, name another underground artist selling $100 polos, please. But I think I think, man, like, with just like the craziness, the crazy mindset that Cemetery has, bro, you gonna get some backlash. You're gonna get called an egomaniac. You're gonna get called all these different things. So you just gotta be prepared for it and learn how to take the criticism with a grain of salt. So we're gonna get into this, man. And then also, I do want to get back to the point of Turnabout's, evolution from Cutter Lane to Obscura, and the way that he sounds now, and the vocalization and everything. And people are just talking crazy. You can't talk crazy to someone that has evolved so much. You just can't be like, oh, your career's over. His career not over, bro. Like what are we really talking about? You know what I'm saying? He's still a dope fire artist. It's just based on like how often he's gonna drop, and how consistent he's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Consistency and quality music are gonna be the key factors for Turnabout and Goner, because they're gonna have to put out just as much music that Cemetery put out when he started out on his own. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the thing, and making good connections and growing as artists. But we're gonna get into the story, man. So Gunner, he posts why I left Haunted Mound, and the first part of the story says, I'll start by saying this is only addressing Cemetery. I have so much love for everybody else. I was never going to do this because I didn't want this to be what started Turn and I's solo journey of music. I'm struggling to stay quiet and respectful based on my very last experience with Zayn. As previously stated, although there were many instances of disrespect, unfair power dynamics, and disagreements, Turn and I left wanting nothing but mutual respect. On May 3rd, 2024, we decided to purchase tickets and go to the SLC show. And let me know in the comment section, what is the SLC show? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna continue on with the story. This was an effort to show support and provide an opportunity to come to an understanding. For someone who hates the law so much, the joke wrote itself. When we were greeted by security who had pictures of our passports saying we weren't allowed in, keep in mind, we never had an idea of causing any harm or any trouble, just showing support. I would understand the concern if we happened to be with tons of people, but it was just us and our girlfriends. This was a slap in the face and solidified my judgments on Zayn. I also want to address that I'm grateful for the opportunities given to me by Zayn, but I will not let my contribution to Haunted Mound go unnoticed. And that's facts. We can't let that go unnoticed. And I'm guessing it was the SLC show. That was Cemetery show. Let me know in the comment section. And then he pretty much was like, he gave the pictures of the passports to the security. Security ain't really law enforcement though. Security is paid protection. They're a private security. They have no connection to law enforcement. Not defending cemetery, but that's what it is. Security is paid protection. My little brother has done security. He is not a law enforcement officer or anything like that. He is a private person. He's a private citizen that can carry a gun and protect the person that he is protecting. But I definitely think that that's crazy though. Like, why not let the people that you was rocking with show support, to your show, give you money? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. He should have. And this is another thing, bro. Anything that is involved with like the industry or your music career, even stand-up comedy career, anything like that, bro. I don't like getting my significant other or family members or anything like that involved whatsoever. I just won't do it because it's just a slippery slope and it makes things it just it's just not a good it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because people could talk really crazy about your significant others. You got trolls in the comment section that can talk about your significant other, or even like troll them, find out where they live, find out a lot of other things like that. And you don't want that kind of stuff to happen. And then also, you don't want your significant other to be around when business discussions are going on, or if you are employed by the person that you're working with and them talking crazy to you in front of your significant other. It just becomes overall dangerous. But we're going to get into the next part of Goner's story, where he says, there are three main factors that led Turn and I to our departure: personality, control, and drug abuse. And this is crazy. You can't, bro, like, you can talk about drug abuse and stuff like that, but like, I don't want to say it look like telling. And it's kind of like none of our business about drugs. Like, just talk about the personality and the control. The drug abuse does play a factor in it, but I don't think that it's any of our business. That is y'all's personal business in my point of view. But yes, the drug abuse can be a key factor into a lot of this. But also there has been many talks of Cemetery being controlling. I don't know, without people bringing up the drug abuse and stuff like that, but I feel like he's already had a long history of his personality and him embodying the grave man or the chainsaw man or whatever you want to call it, just the Haunted Mound personality in general. Like, there's just like he's already embodied like that persona, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Persona, the video game. But yeah, like, he has embodied that persona, and that's just him, you know what I'm saying? He's not that's just who he is at the end of the day. And some people want to accept it and some people don't, but it is what it is, it's just, I think that the drug abuse thing, I don't want to say it should be left out, but that becomes like a very overly used, it can become like it can overlook everything else, and people can just go straight to like, oh, you just use drugs and you drug abusing. And the thing about it is, bro, in this music industry, everybody be doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody abuses something. You know what I'm saying? Weed. People don't think that you can be addicted or abuse weed. People do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was in this, and here's the thing, bro. Was it cool when y'all was doing the drugs with them? If y'all did do drugs with them, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is just me playing devil's advocate. I'm not going at Goner or Turnabout. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking questions as a person that's like concerned with these kind of things, and I cover these things, so I have to ask these questions. Like I said, I fuck with Turnabout and Gunner, but but I have to ask these questions. So was it okay when he was doing drugs with y'all? You know what I'm saying? When y'all was doing the drugs with him, was it okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes it is a breaking point. You know, even though you're doing it with him and things like that, maybe you're not having the same like reactions or the same side effects that he's having at the end of the day. So drugs affect everybody differently. But yeah, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna continue with this story where Garner says, "I have never met anyone who was so disrespectful and shameless about the way he treated my friends, my family, and everybody else in Haunted Mound's loved ones as well. For example, my girlfriend would make jokes as anybody does and was told, 'Yeah, well, I can fire your boyfriend,' or 'I gave your boyfriend a job,' which to him was funny, even if her original joke had nothing to do with my employment, or telling my friends to fuck off when trying to introduce themselves at the Cutter Lane cabin party. Turn shares similar experiences as well throughout our times in Haunted Mound. Turn specifically dealt with constantly being belittled, having his ideas instantly shot down, and treated like his 2 cents had no value or made sense. Being told things such as, 'Yeah, that's not happening,' or 'Shut the fuck up, Turn.' Mind you, these are a sliver of the experiences Turn or I have had in the 3 years of knowing him. This was driven by his ego, God complex, and full belief of his character. There was never a moment when he was out of character. I struggled with this because I genuinely cared about him as a friend. It was hard for me to confront him on his disrespectful behavior as this unfair power dynamic grew." All right, so we're going to touch on a few things here where you have your girlfriend around, she's making jokes and stuff like that. And this is the thing, bro. This is why you don't invite your shawty to these kind of things, because like I said, it becomes a slippery slope. And I get it, the girl wants to hang around and stuff like that, but if you get disrespected in front of your girl, bro, like, and your girl is there, like the whole dynamic of what you thought you had with this person changes. It's an instant fade. It's an instant fade, you know, where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? It's an instant. Somebody disrespect you in front of your girl like that, boss or not, or whatever, where they're talking crazy to you. It's an instant fade. Friend, whatever. It is a instant fade. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all letting this happen. And then like I said, it's a boiling point. You know what I'm saying? And I have seen things like this happen in altered friendships. I've seen fights break out because of people just disrespecting each other in front of their girls and stuff like that. Don't bring your girl to these things, because like I said, like, you can't control what your girl say. And Cemetery probably could have took what she said as a, you know, even though it wasn't related to your employment or anything like that with Haunted Mound. You can't control what Cemetery. You can't control Cemetery's response. Yeah, you may have. You know, it's like when if you can't control the response. You know, like, you could be like, "Oh, I just tapped you on the face," but that tap on the face could, like, that little tap, the little slap on the face could, like, you know, irk me so much that I throw a punch back and I punch you in the face, and you're like, "Why did you punch me?" And I can be like, "You tapped me on my face and it was annoying." You know. Like, you can't control the response that someone can have to, you know, what you say, what you do, or whatever. You know, you could throw a pebble and someone could throw a whole boulder at you. You know, and then with the turnabout getting belittled or whatever, it just sounds like Cemetery is running this as a record label and not as a group. And instead of telling Goner and Turnabout, "Hey, do you guys want to join my group?" he should have said, "Hey, do you guys want to sign to my label?" I feel like that would have been the better choice of words for this situation. He should have asked, "Do you guys want to sign to my label, Haunted Mound, and we can grow together?" But Cemetery gets to make the creative decisions and everything, because that's what record labels do. They make the creative decisions. They do everything else, and that's what I've said in a lot of my previous videos. Sematary has grown Haunted Mound so much to where they're touring and all that stuff and doing so much that he needs to make this a record label. He can no longer, like, I don't, and this is the slippery slope. He can no longer really run this as a group if he's the one that's solely making the decisions and everything. This has to become a record label now. This isn't, he needs to let them know that this is not a group decision. This isn't a group project. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just has to let them, like, let that be known. To anyone else that wants to sign to join Haunted Mound, Sematary needs to let it be known that you are signed to a label, 3-year, 4-year contract. This is how much you'll make for each project, blah, 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 blah. And this is how much I'll get, whatever. And, if you want to re-sign, we can renegotiate and things like that. And I think that's how he needs to do it personally. And I think that, yeah, he just needs to run it as a label. That's what and people can, like, it's ego, God complex and all that stuff, but Sematary did grow this by himself, and you get to a point where you grew this. So you can't really, it's hard to let other people's ideas in that joined 3 years ago, which people think 3 years is a long time, but that's recent. You know what I'm saying? Compared to how much work Sematary has put into Haunted Mound, he can't really afford to take in new ideas because he's just gonna do what he thinks has been working for himself. I don't think that he's gonna be open to new ideas or doing things differently or working with other people, because he has built this brand and put so much time and effort into it that he'll be damned if he thinks that someone else can make a decision for something that he built. And that's why I'm saying that he needs to make this a label and not a group project. So we're gonna get into the next post. This became a severe issue for us with the power dynamic bled into everyone's creative process and our experience. It was a battle to drop prior to any of Zayn's projects. It's also a fight to do collabs or any outside work without his permission. How do you expect us as young adults navigating life and trying to make a living expect us to grow when all you did was hinder our growth on a fundamental level? No person who claims to be your friend should hinder how you make other income and control creative choices. While everyone is living at their parents' houses, he would consistently flex his success in daily purchases on the backs of everyone's contribution the past 3 years. All of these issues grew even larger when his drug use became more frequent. And this is back to my talking point. Cemetery is running this as a label, not a group project. And this is the thing, like, this is why I tell people something a lot of the times. You can join these groups and stuff like that, and you can be cordial, but putting all your eggs in one basket by joining a group that you weren't even a part of, to begin with, it's a very slippery slope, especially when you didn't create it. So it's just hard to gauge whether or not you can trust that this person has your best interest at hand. But you see that Cemetery has his best interest at hand, and he's gonna control whether or not who you guys collab with and stuff, and he's running this as a record label. That's what it sounds like. You hear a lot of these talking points and a lot of these grievances through people that were signed to music labels, and this is what Cemetery needs to do. He needs to say, hey, you want to sign to Haunted Mound? Okay, this is the contract. This is what you got to do. And then now you have NDAs involved. Because then now when you have an NDA, people can't complain about these things because you know what you signed up for. Goner and Turnabout didn't know that they were signing up for the creative control process and things like that. And this is what happens when you join somebody else's thing. Yeah, people can say, well, it's all about being a good person and stuff like that. Yeah, we can say that, but guess what? Like, How many other people have built something from the ground up to where it's became a $100,000 $100,000 like business venture? You know what I'm saying? Like all we could do is speculate and talk shit and guess and all that other stuff. But we have, I would say the majority of us haven't, built something that can make them 100K or 200K a year in income. So it's just a slippery slope, man. And this is just a thing, man. When you join other people's stuff, you gotta play by their rules. When you sign to a label, you gotta play by their rules. Yeah, they weren't signed to a label, but they joined somebody else's group that already was developed and already was making income and money. So therefore, it was his call. He can make the calls. He could tell you what to do and what not to do. So this is just a lesson learned for Turnabout and Goner. We're gonna get into the next screenshot. Zane's drug use has progressively gotten worse, specifically within the last year. At first, it was just pouring up with the boys and has evolved into a full-on opiate addiction, taking up to 630s a day. Because of this, his withdrawals have massively swayed his temperament and decision-making. There were days on tour where his friend withdrawals were insufferable. His drug use is nothing but hypocrisy. For example, in July of 2023, we embarked on a tour to Australia and New Zealand. On this tour, a fellow member of the Haunted Mound was sent home due to concerns of addiction and a growing drug habit that was going too far. While Zane continued to do drugs, facing zero repercussions just because he is the boss, Turn and I repeatedly stated our concerns to Zane about his addiction, which clearly, for a lack of better term, went in one ear and straight out the other. His accumulation of concerns is what drove us to lose passion in this project. Turn and I no longer wanted to represent such a power-hungry, disrespectful, and insufferable person. We are not doing this for clout. We feel the truth must be addressed. Much love to everybody that has supported us, and much love and best wishes to the rest of the guys still in Haunted Mound. And this is the thing, man. Like I said, Sematary is the boss of Haunted Mound. So he gets to call the shots. He gets to say who, and you have those bosses at our, we work with people like that at our jobs right now. We have bosses like that at our job right now, where, besides like the drug use thing, where they tell us, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and we're doing it, but we don't see them doing it by example. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, being a boss and being a leader, and you just got to play by their rules at the end of the day, because they can take your job away. And that's where you get into a situation like Turnabout and Goner, where you take your destiny into your own hands. And that's what you got to do. So I think if you don't want to be in a situation like this, put your destiny in your own hands at the end of the day. Like, that's like all we could take from this. If you don't want to be a part of something and you feel like you're not happy with how things are being ran, in your eyes, especially when it comes to your 9-to-5 job, or whether you're in a creative group with some people, if you are not happy with how things are being ran, take your destiny into your own hands. Yeah, make time for you to get out of the situation, but when you have that time to exit, leave. It's the best thing you could do. This definitely is pretty crazy, but not surprised. Like I said, I've seen this happen plenty of times when people join other people's stuff, or people, form a group together, and then some people feel, weird about, someone having more success than somebody, or someone's making more money than somebody, or someone's working with other people, and they don't want you to work with other people. They just want you to work with just the group, and people leave other people, out of the loop when it comes to certain things. So it's beautiful when groups can work great together, but it also exposes some of the people's, it exposes their heart. You know what I'm saying? It exposes what kind of heart they have. But also, to play devil's advocate, Cemetery gave Goner and Turnabout a chance when nobody really knew who they were. He flew them out. Well, he opened his doors to them and gave them opportunity. But that does not give Cemetery the right to talk crazy to Goner or Turnabout in front of their girlfriends. Like I said, and another thing, please leave the girlfriends out of this stuff. Just let the girlfriends be girlfriends, bro. You know, I know they want to go on tour, they want to ride with the boys and stuff like that, but man, like, it just becomes a big liability and hindrance. Yeah, like that shit's sweet in the beginning, but woo, it can get pretty weird. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it happen in situations just like this where people are disrespecting you in front of your girl, talking crazy to you in front of your girl. And at that point, you just got to catch the fade. Or your girl looking at you crazy like you a weakling. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna let him talk to you crazy like that in front of me? Are you gonna let him talk to you like that in front of me? You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, you arguing with your girl and stuff. You know, because your boss want to be disrespectful in front of you. But yeah, this is like I said, not surprised. I've seen a lot of this happen. You know, my time. You know, enjoying the underground scene, and it's just one of those things, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Shout out to Goner. Shout out to Turnabout. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Haunted Mound. Even though Cemetery, you know, like I said, bro. Shout out Cemetery. Even though a lot of people are feeling very indifferent about him. Shout out Cemetery. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. This is the Scotty Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank y'all. Peace out.
Hey, okay, hey, 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 okay.